Good morning and welcome to Clarity. My name is Barbara Gray and I've got some lovely things to show you today. I'm waiting for my friends to come and join me now. Do pull up a seat. I think we're going to have a nice hour together. Jilly is in the room with your good selves if you have any questions, because she will be filtering them through to me. And I know that we had said that Jazz would be with me this morning. We were all set to go. She got a phone call from home. Her dad's not well. She has what we would all do. She's dashed to his side. So we wish him well, and let's hope for a good outcome there. So I'm on my own. You've got me again. Jilly says the sound is good. So come on in and we'll take a look. Bear with me. We're going to travel gently today. I'm just going to show you this lovely new collection that we've got. I think you'll be impressed. I've got a really lovely sample or a demo that I'm going to go through with you, and it's an extended, it's quite in depth, but I just thought it would be nice just to relax, have a cup of tea, pack loads of tricks and tips into one really nice piece of artwork. That's what we're going to do today. So come on in. How are you? And then we'll get started. You know, we've got a lot going on at the moment because, of course, we're still in our 32nd birthday month. We are 32 years old. I know you wouldn't believe it, would you? So for the whole of September, rather than pack it all into one weekend, we decided to spread the love. It's easier on everybody involved. So this weekend, we've got a superb collection of something different. And we've also got, you can see it on your screens already, brand spanking new. And there's a special birthday treat as well, which I'll tell you about as we go along. So that's going to be our main event today at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. I've got a really nice demo lined up for 2 o'clock. It's actually Jane Telford's artwork, and I took one look at it and said, that's the one we're doing. It's gorgeous. So this morning we're going to just take it easy, okay? And then, of course, not only have we got our birthday going on in September, but then, as if we weren't busy enough, we decided to do a countdown to Christmas. And today, will you believe, it's 90 days to Christmas. We started at 100, and it's very centered around my blog, barbaragrayblog.com. And every day, I shine a light on something festive. Although today, actually, I shone a light on this because it's really lovely. And I'm sure I can be forgiven for deviating from Christmas for a day. Hey? So come on in and take a seat, and then I'll get started. Now, let me see. Yeah, so let me just get my head straight and then we'll get started. Sip of tea, always good. Oh, lovely. Yeah, so how are you anyway? Everybody happy? Set for a good hour? How do you shop? This is definitely our shopping platform, always on Fridays at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. How do you shop at Clarity? Well, you can see on the screen, there's a telephone number running along the bottom, 01732 868 215. You can pick up the phone and speak to lovely Sue, who will always be glad of your call, and she will take your order if you prefer to speak to a human. She's downstairs, and I'm sure she's listening now. Hello, Sue. And then you could go online. So you can go to claritycrafts.com, also on your screen, if I'm not mistaken, claritycrafts with an s.com. And you can, if you go to that front page, you'll see that there's a teal box, just the same as this, Clarity TV, it will say. And if you click that box, that will take you through to the pre-recorded, the recorded TV shows that you may have missed, right back to a year ago. Okay, they're all stacked for you. And what we do is we put everything, for example, that I'm using during the course of these 2 hours, we put it all into one shop for your convenience. So it's easy to locate. So it will say something like shop the show or something like that, I'm sure. Okay. So that's just, it's easier if you don't have to troll around all over the website looking for these bits and pieces if you need them. Also, while you're in that little area on the website, what we also offer is our digital downloads of the projects that we're doing. So you can see here, for example, the one that I'm doing today using our new product is called Mark's Card, Mark being my son. And you can see this is such a convenient way to do this, because it shows you what was made if you come back later. So you can see at a glance what's on the TV show next to it. It shows you when it was made, the date. And it also shows you, with the links, what was used. So that's what we're going to do this morning. I'm going to show you how to layer up and get that illusion of depth. And then this is the one that I'm going to do this afternoon, Jane's card, the leafy background, very lovely. So those are the two. Thing is, you can print those off, put them in a folder, and they're like project sheets, really. They tell you exactly what was used and what it looks like, what it's supposed to look like. And then if you're not sure of the process, then you can go straight to that area on the website and you can scroll down until you find the date, click on that TV show, and there it will be. Okay, so that's how to shop with us. And now I'm going to show you why to shop with us. So those are the downloads. And now let's take a look at the product. So, and then we'll look at some artwork. Are you ready for this? Big treat coming up. This is a combination. It's stamps designed by Jazz, which is why we wanted to do the show together. I'm sure she's disappointed. It's a combination of stamps and alphabet masks. So this works really well. Sarah Brennan, actually, in the retreat, she kind of planted the seed, the idea, and we ran with it. So if I show you what's available, then you'll understand. So first of all, you can see here, there's a whole collection. I'm going to show you the box, and then you can see, let's unpack our Slowdown box. And then you can see exactly what's in there, and then we'll go through them. But the Slowdown box, it's a KISS range of stamps and masks, A1. And you can see in the Slowdown box that comes with the collection, everything is included in the box that you're going to see now. So what we've got going on here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of stamps. We'll go into those in more detail in a minute. And an alphabet and numbers set of masks. So you can see here, you've got all the alphabet. It's very retro, very stencil, quite industrial, beautiful actually. And I'm going to show you some tricks on how to use these today. So you've got your numbers, you've got ordinals, and then of course you've got A to Z, and ampersand, exclamation mark. These are reusable, repositionable masks. And just so that you know, each one comes, it's individual. So you get the positive and the negative. This isn't one big sheet. These are cut into sections. So you can see, if I do this, the Y is separate to the W, etc., etc., etc. So that's how that works. And if you look at the price on the screen now, you can see you're going to be saving the whole bundle for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of stamps and the ABC masks and the Slowdown box it's just under £80. You save £6 if you buy the collection. But there's another little treat here, because if you you get your discount as well. So if you're a Clarity Club member, then of course you get 10% in one club, 12.5% two clubs, 15% if you're in all three clubs in one of our diamonds. So that comes off the top. And still, if you spend £60 between now and midnight on Sunday, we're also going to pop something really cool into your basket. Yeah, so this is a real treat. So in actual fact, it's like a little gift, really. Let me show you. You're also going to receive a box of stamp board shapes, and this is no mean mean offer, because the stamp board shapes are absolutely marvelous, and if you haven't used them, they're so useful. You get 4 different shapes: hearts, squares, circles, and bunting, triangles. You get 3 different sizes of each shape, and you get 5 of each of the sizes. So it's quite it's a considerable gift, and the value of it is about £15, if I'm not mistaken. £15.99, in fact, if you were to buy it. So think of that. Not only are you saving £6 on this bundle, but you're also going to be in for a treat on us. So that's another £16 gift, which I know that you'll enjoy. So that's the bundle there. The number that you're going to quote Sue, if you would like all 5 sets of these stamps, we'll look at them in more detail in a moment, and the alphabet set of masks, invaluable, is 21242. So that is the code that you will find online. It will take you straight there, or you can tell Sue, and you don't have to worry about saying anything about you know that we remember to send you the stamp board. We know. Sharon downstairs knows exactly. Anybody that spends £6, it doesn't even have to be on any of this. Perhaps you saw something during the week that you fancied, or you thought, oh, do you know what? I am going to buy those dies. Oh, yeah, I think I will treat myself to. Then, as provided that your bottom line at checkout is £60, that box of stamp board shapes will automatically be added. And of course, postage is free because you've exceeded the cap on that as well of £35. So it's all looking good at the moment. Now let's see. We should have a look at the individual stamps. I think that's a good idea. So the first one I want to go to, I'm going to start with A. So let me just take a look at A. There you go. So if you wanted to buy this on its own, then of course you can. Let's take a look. All of these stamps are available on their own. Let's have a look. So these are so cool, and you'll see immediately Jazz had great fun doing this. So the little people, do you remember those beautiful little Clarity people? Well, we've turned them into tiny little silhouettes. They are so fun to use. And but the principle is, if I show you, right, when you look at the artwork here, let's take this masterpiece, it's called Space. So the idea is that you can build a background with these little elements. That's the whole process here. You can either, the mask alphabet and numbers is big enough that you could fill inside. I'm just telling, it make more sense to you now. So this is one by Tina Morris, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see that she's infilled the letter with the leaves. Okay. Or you can build outside. Jane Telford, gorgeous. She's used the moons, but the principle is the same. And of course, these are completely interchangeable. These little people are particularly fun because you can stand them, for example, on the, look, there's one that you can, there's infilled. Here's one, look, babe, child, lovely. You can put them inside, really nice to use. I'm just flicking through the artwork here. One on his own, You see, they pack a punch, these little people. So you can see, look, this is so fun. Sheila Metzeler, she's used another stamp set entirely. Let's get in a bit closer on this. And you can see she's just added them there. So looking at this artwork again, Sheila Metzeler, little people here using the shapes, nice, very nice indeed. Sheila Metzeler again. I've got your back, Miri card. This is using one of our rub-ons and one of the little guys. Isn't that gorgeous? Sheila Metzeler again. Now this one here, using all different elements, which is why probably I would suggest that you do get the bundle, because they work so beautifully together. It's magic. Okay, that's a Jane Telford here. So I bet this is Jane as well. Yeah. So Jane has used a combination of the Clarity people, the Shack people, I mean, and the so these are the Shack people that we drew together. Do you remember? And then the words as well. And then she's put the moons inside. So it's a real combination job. Very lovely indeed. There's another one with the people on the inside. That's an Andy Duggan special with a little bit of stencil work around the outside. Really nice. Many happy returns of the day. So, and that's the thing, you see, all of these, of course, use the stencils, but it doesn't have to. You don't have to. Stamps are independent. They just work beautifully. And in case you're wondering, they've been designed to fit on our lovely stamp pens. So, you know, every single little stamp, whether it's the words, the moons, the people, they're all designed to fit on the stamp pens, just to give you an idea of their tininess. However, of course, that doesn't mean that they lose any of their detail. So going back to this one now, we've got the people on their own, the Shack people, Build a Background. This is all part of a Build a Background collection. We had Build a Wreath in January with the stamp pens, and now we're working with Build a Background. And of course, these masks, they're far more cost effective than if we had to make a set of stamps, and we just create that negative space with the images. Very good indeed. So that's the first set. And the second set, let's have a look at the stamps. The next set that we're going to look at, yes, no, I think I'm going to look at this one. Right. Sun and Moon. So this is Sun and Moon, Build a Background 12201. Jazz did a fantastic job of these as well. Love these, very different, really nice to use. Look, the moon phases, very, very arty. You know, it's just lovely. If you like your fairies, if for Christmas, these are beautiful. And I just want to shine a light on the artwork that Jazz prepared. It is so lovely, just for an idea. But you can see, because they're little and they're silhouettes, when you put them to the edge, so you put the mask down, when you stamp around the edge, it creates the shape of the letter by infilling the background. Build a background. Okay, so those are the moons and suns and moons. Build a Background 12201. Next up, let's have a look. Next one, yeah. So now we're going to go to the leaves. Okay. So this is pretty special. So this is the leaf set. This time, Jazz wrapped it around a number to show you what that looks like. You can see here gorgeous silhouettes. Again, very useful, very, very useful. In fact, I can only look, I'll show you. I'm all ready to go this afternoon. I've already prepared all my leaves, all ready to go for this afternoon's demo. So here we go. This is 12203. If you just want to go with the leaves on their own, it's a great. But on the back, of course, Jazz always tells you what else is available. $10.99 for a set. Of course, and I will go back to it, I keep mine all in a slow down box. I've got them all there, and I've got my letters at the back as well. I just need one stamp pen. But you can see here what I did was, just so that they come out top tip, so that you're not scratching around at the bottom, I just put a little bit of masking tape in like that. Really easy to lift them all out so that I can look at what I need. Just put a bit of masking tape in the base, because I just felt that's an easy solution. There you go. So that's my recommendation. Did I tell you that they're available in a beautiful bundle? There you go. I know it's a considered purchase, $79.94. You save £6, but you also, don't forget, you get that fabulous stamp board set. We'll have a little look at what I had a look this morning early. I just looked in my art room and I thought, God, it's everywhere. I've got stamp board art everywhere. It's what I do. And if I go in the bedroom upstairs, or in the bedrooms, or in the kitchen, I just make little pieces of artwork I really like, and I just put them in cups and that, and people find them. It's really nice. You know, it's especially those lovely feel-good words that we used in the shack. You could put a sticker on them, or you could stamp on them. They're called stamp board for a reason. Now let's have a look. Those are the leaves. Next up, after the leaves, is the grungy backgrounds. Now these are interesting. I love these. They remind me a lot of Sam Crow's shapes, and you know the way Sam has a really cool collection of funky shapes. They're much larger than this, but you can see here Jazz has done a fantastic job. And just in case you're wondering, look, they fit on here like a treat. Like, for making backgrounds, they're amazing. Very, very good. And the thing about the stamp pens is, of course, they just they're so easy to get a good stamped impression every time. So if you like those really jazzy kind of Sam Crow-esque backgrounds, very mixed media look, then this is the one for you. And that will be 12202. Again, $10.99 for a set of beautiful stamps. I think my favorite, though, I have to say, interestingly, is these words. I really, really, really love these words. So this is it's a lovely, bold, industrial kind of font. It sits very, very well with the mask shapes. So you can see here you've got a lot of excellent 27, in fact, 27 stamps here on this particular set. And I'm going to use these in the demonstration today. So this is 12204, and that is for the sentiment build a background. It's the sentiments, but they're very uplifting, lovely words. And this was the set that drew me in when I was doing a demonstration, prepping a demonstration yesterday. So that's where we're going to go. Before we do that, how about we look at a couple of pieces of artwork? Because I think when you see the ideas, we've got plenty of time. We could come back at 2 o'clock and look at more artwork. But let's just take a little look at some of the samples. So this one by Jane Telford, I just showed you it, Space. This is exactly what I'm going to show you, how to create that illusion. Because they're quite large letters, you would think in order to write something that bold, the card would be, you know, A4. But by overlapping like this, as Jane has done, and then adding a little drop shadow, it's not cut out. It's an optical illusion. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the one with Mark, except I'm going to use, instead of a white background like Jane has used, I'm going to go in with a coloured background to begin with. So that's a really cool one. This is the one by Jane that we're going to do this afternoon. Love that. Just a drop shadow around there gives the illusion that it's cut and stuck on, but it's not. It's all one piece. Really lovely. I love this one, Sheila Metzeler. Do you remember our little painter and decorator? Check it out. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is a piece of designer paper. And then I'm sure this is one of Dee's designer papers, the Christmas one, probably something like toffee apple. Oh, I bet. I'm going to test myself now. Let me just see if is it toffee apple? No, it's not toffee apple. I wonder if it's, I bet it's, yeah. Great Lakes. There you go. I've just found it. Great Lakes 30851. This is designed by Dee Paramore, and you can see here, beautiful, absolutely fantastic backgrounds. See, now you could use these backgrounds. There it is. There's the one that Sheila used. Yeah, Sheila Metzeler. So she's used that background. I'll show you. Look, there it is. And then she's used the masks. It's clever, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. And there's that in reverse. Look, there's another one. So this is a really beautiful collection of designer papers if you're interested. Nice, the blues. You know, a lot of us like those blues and teals. So this is a really particularly nice one, 30851. And while I've got this one out of the cupboard, toffee apple, it's Dee's other section. So you've got your colds and your warms. You've got your cools and you've got your festive traditional colours. These again, if I show you, when I show you the mark card, the trick with mark, you'll get it. And you'll see that it's the more muted ones that you probably want to go to. Although saying that, this one's lovely. See, I'm just thinking, you don't want it to be too busy. That might be too busy for a letter, but they're fantastic. Okay, so there you go. 30850 is a toffee apple collection and 30851. So if you're going to go for that £60 treat, then perhaps that might be a worthy addition to your box of goodies this month. Now, this is a cool one as well. Sarah Brennan, love this. So she's made, this is all in one piece. She's used those lovely, funky, the grungy build backgrounds to make the letters and the border. And then she's used those bold words. So, you know, that's another thing about these. You know, if you think about when you make, who are you making for? Who is the recipient? So now we're working. If you think about it, you know, we're kind of segueing in the male side of card making. It's quite industrial, quite bold. Those Mr. Painters, very kind of fun and funky, young men, you know. And this is, again, if you look at these are brilliant for children, for young people, for teenagers. You know, I think that's something that needs to be considered when you're making your art. You know, you have to think about, who's it for? Who will it speak to? Who will it resonate with? There are two things going on here. It's your mindful process, isn't it? It's us as artists getting our arty fix, but it's also traveling in a direction that will speak to the recipient, because we are makers, but we are also givers. We usually make things to give, don't we? That said, we are an angel company. What that means is we're not a bunch of angels. What it means is, if you make things to sell using our products, then you have our blessing. In fact, we will support you every step of the way. We've got a couple of things coming up. In fact, Dave's downstairs at the moment with his Heidelberg press, churning something out, cutting something out, which is so excellent. Okay. And we had a little meeting about it this morning. I know I digress, but if you were in that world where you make things for charity or you make things for Christmas pop-up shops, it's these combined with what's coming is excellent, just excellent. Yeah, really nice. So let's have a look. Andy Duggan like this too, you see. So he's used both. He's coloured in the letters and he's done both. Jane Telford, she really nailed it this time. You can see here, there's the A, and she's used those funky words. Lovely colours, you know, and a little flash. You can either use the stamps or the brushes. Either way, it's going to work, isn't it? Here's another one by Andy Duggan. Love that. You know which set without my even telling you. And there's one with the leaves. Great art. There's a Sheila Metzeler. Lots of bling. But really arty grungy, using those suns and moons. Here's one. It's like a leopardy one. Really interesting. Linda Spencer. For a 21st, it really does hit the spot. And here's a Tina Morris one. Now, she's used, like I'm going to, she's also used a designer card. It's a designer card. When I say designer card, what I'm talking about is these books here. So we've got designer cards. I'm working with Northern Lights today, and you can see this is the color. This is the piece, for example, that I'm going to work with like that. But honestly, you could do this on pretty much 90% of any of our card, right? It's just, again, it's considering the recipient. So I think about my Mark and I think, what colors does he like? You know, pink wouldn't really speak to him. Do you see? Yellow, maybe not so much, but teals and kind of russets and oranges, that's his speed. And I like kind of spending time thinking about the person that I'm making the art for, don't you? So there we are. Tina Morris, great artist, great art. She used, I'm not sure which one that is. Let's have a look. 5x7 petite designer card. Right, guys, which one's this? I've got a feeling it might be Waimea Falls, but I could be wrong. And this is a lovely one too by Debbie McMullin. Again, it's so lovely when you see their personalities coming through. You can see here we've got the numbers, gentle colors, have the best day ever. So thank you to the art team for making us look good as always. I think you know, when you buy things, when you buy stamps, it's all about like hour for hour, pound for pound, how much mileage you're going to get out of something. I think this set is a very, very useful set. And that's why I'm going to go back to the collection. So you can see here, $79.94 gets you not just the masks, numbers, and the whole alphabet, but also the all 5 sets of stamps. And as if that weren't enough, you then are going to get your slow down box. So you've got it all in one safe place, and a box of stamp board. Excellent. Right, now let's get started on the demo, and let's take it from there. So I'm going to get into this demo now, and I want to show you how it works. So the first thing we're going to do is take a piece of that card. All right. So now let me just get my things together, because the first thing that I want to show you is how to, because M, it starts with the M, right? We might as well start at the beginning. If you take the M, it's a big letter, okay, but it's quite floppy, if you like. And so I thought about this, and I thought, how do we create this letter without getting all in a pickle? Because you can't you? So I had this idea, and a lot of this comes from the felt idea. If you take a piece of low tack masking tape, let's see if this works. Right, take a piece of low tack masking tape, and then you're going to lift these two sides. Let's just lift these off like that. I mean, it looks like a bit of a faff, but it isn't really at all, right? And then we'll just do that like so. So now I've got this. I've got this. I want the bit in the middle, don't I? I want to leave this here. Then I'm going to turn it round. And I mean, I'm only using 4 letters, but I think it's worth doing this in real time so that you see it doesn't take forever. I mean, see, so you're just going to lift these up, and then you just pop this in under there like so. And I thought about, because it took me a while to do this, and then I thought, oh, shall I stage it? And I got to tell you, I was so exhausted yesterday. I was so tired because we had a very successful show at Hobby Maker the day before. So, but I was so tired yesterday, I just didn't have it in me to do all the staging. So you're going to have to sit through this, I'm afraid. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking my thumb and I'm just making sure that it's going to hold, okay? But if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. So we're just going to lift this off like that. This is a great way to, there you go. So now I've got my M, and I can load my M wherever I want. I'm going to stay in the middle. I'm going to go like that. The M's like that. Then I can take that out like that. There you go, piece of cake. Lift that away. And guess what? That's exactly how we're going to replace it as well. Because otherwise, well, I'm not going to show you, but if I lift that up, it's, you know, there's stairs going on here. So that's the first one. Now, in order to get whatever you put down first is going to be at the front. What you put down next is going to go to the back, depending on how you lift the masks. But let's just for the sake of argument, I want the M and the R to the front. So I'm going to put them down first. So now I'm going to go to my R, and it's the same sketch again. Everybody happy? I feel very isolated here today for some reason. So let me just take this. Let me just go like that. And I'm just going to get my, I can use this, can't I? So I use the same piece and I'm just going to put I've got R because I'm going in the order that I'm going to place them as well. So sometimes it's a good idea to write this down depending on how many letters. And if you wanted to put 5, it should get tighter, but you know, you can save a lot of space by overlapping. You really can, by overlapping, going up and down at a jaunty angle. You know, this card would be about 2 inches longer if I put them all next to each other, like in a row. I think this looks far more interesting. So I've got my R, and again, I'm going to use my masking tape. I'll just lift this off. There you go. Gently does it. You know, the masks are marvellous and they will last a long time if you look after them. So there you go. So we're just going to, and the thing is, you can use the masking tape to lay it down as well. So it's just a question of working out where you want to put it. So you've got to figure it, you've got to factor in the A, you've got to leave a bit of space for the A. So I reckon I'll do it like that. I'll do. Can always move it. It's not set in stone. It's just the reason that this is particularly important, what I'm doing here, is because like this is 2 parts. There are 2 parts to this stencil, the mask, sorry. This bit and that bit are not attached. That's what makes it look. See, if you look here, these bits are not, it's not one piece. Those are 2 elements. So to get these together to sit perfectly, this is just a real easy trick. Right, A next. I think I'll go A next. Again, you see, these are 2 parts. So you're either dealing with floppy things like the M and the C, which move around, or you're dealing with 2 parts. So this is an easy way, really, of transferring, isn't it? Right, so we just lift those bits up like that. And then we'll pop them in there. I really enjoyed the process when I was doing this yesterday. There we go. So we're just going to lift this up. And what I'm doing is building a background, right? I'm going to stick to the original plan. But of course, the bits that I'm lifting here, they also give me this piece, don't they? So if I wanted to infill the M, then I've got this piece too. Okay. So let's just see if I just do that. I think it's well worth looking after your masks. I mean, they're not an expensive You know, they're not a die cutting machine, are they? They're just, and they do have a shelf life. You know, there'll come a point where you think, oh, I need to treat myself to a new set. But at the moment, these are cool. So now I can decide now. See, I can, oh, hello. See, it's moved off. That's okay. Let me just stick that back down. Just let me make sure that that's sitting on there so we don't move the, oh, that one's moved. Oh, well, it's because I've stuck it down prematurely. Oh, now they're all going. This is what happens. That's all right, though. I'll show you. This is why this is a good idea, what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to go back to this. See, now I've got to line up the mask like that onto my... That's all right, though. Like I say, they're repositionable, so it's not terminal, is it? And if it's bound to happen at home, that you... Now, let's see. I mean, there is a solution to this. I'm going to show you. If you use the sticky side of the masking tape, oh, let me tell you, it sticks. There's definitely, that is a solution. So say this isn't working, right, and I'm struggling with it, then what I'm going to do, right, so now I'm going to turn this over, because this is the sticky side, and I'm going to use, where there's a will, there's a way. So use the sticky side of the masking tape to hold it in place. And I'm telling you now, that's going to stick. Okay, so if it's playing that game, then let's play hardball with it. So we can go like that now, and I think it's all right to show you all this, because this is exactly what's going to happen to you as well. I reckon that'll work there. Just get that A down. Right, and I've used the sticky side of the masking tape, but because it's low tack, it's fine. It's not going to spoil the mask or anything. Right, so I've got that in place. I feel like we moved it when I did that. I feel like it wants to be over a bit. That'll do. Right, so let's do the K using the sticky side of the masking tape. So you've got options now, so that we don't have a repeat of that. Right, we've got a sticky side and a non-sticky side. Let's use this. It may be that I've been using the masking tape too much, so I need a fresh bit. Right, so now I'm going for my K. So let's have a look, just in case. Right, so we'll lift that off there like so, and we're going to use the sticky side. Yes. Right, like that. That'll do. I don't need it to be that long. Okay, let's take that off there. Okay, that's that one. We'll turn that around and we'll use this bit in the bottom as well. So that's the sticky side of the masking tape now. Sticky to sticky, basically. Pop that on there like so. And then we'll do the same on this one. I know it looks fiddly, that's because it is. But the result's really brilliant. And I can't think of another way to do it. If you've got a better idea, please let me know. Right, now this one, oh, hello. We've got to get it on the page. So I reckon M-A-R-K, well, it doesn't have to be completely on the page, does it? I reckon that'll do really nicely. There you go, he's on. And then you see, because even though we're using the sticky side, it doesn't matter. Good, good, good. So then we'll peel this off carefully. You don't want to tear it. Nice. There you go. Good enough for a live. And if you're not happy with that position, then you've just got to change it a bit, haven't you? That's all. So once we've done that, we've got our words in place. Now, you need to know that this is going to be, this is permanent now. That's what it's going to look like. So if you don't like it, now's the time to change it. But for the sake of time, I'm going to keep going because I feel that I need to. So if I were at home, to be honest, I'd probably faff about a bit longer and I would move that K. But for the sake of TV demo, I'm just going to stick with what I've got at the moment. Right, I'm going to take a... So what I'm doing here is I'm reducing the fill, because this is going to be, I'm just covering this up. Otherwise it would take a lot longer to fill all this. I'm just making this border. Do you see this area here? Right, so I'm happy with my masks. Top tip, we know how to move the masks using low tack masking tape. Right, that's that done. That's that job done. Next job. Now we've masked off the area, and this is exactly the part that we want to build the background in. Okay. At this point, we could decide which stamps we want to use. Any one of these sets that we were looking at from that collection will do the job. So I'm going to go with, because it's Mark, it's my son that I'm sending this card to, for example. So then I look at this and I decide which words describe Mark. I so enjoyed this process. So, for example, happy, love, and I'm putting them around the outside. Joy, he loves to party. He dances like he's plugged in. When he was a little one, it was amazing. He's funny. He's got a real wicked, dry sense of humour. And where's that laugh? He's got one of those most infectious laughs. See, so I'm using all the words. He's got a beautiful smile. So we're going to pop that one in as well. So the point is, he's family. There we go. He's family. He's fun. When he was a kid, he used to love dancing, okay? And and bluegrass. Do you know bluegrass is like? Real jazz. Dong, 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 dong. Right. Anyway, if we put bluegrass on, it was like taking a plug and plugging him into the socket. It was like it would run through him like electricity. And I'm saying he was only 3 years old, but it was bluegrass that used to hit the spot with that lad every time. And at his wedding last year, there was a little bit of that kind of, I won't call it, it's like country, but it's very black soul, very twang, lovely, right? Bluegrass. And there was a little bit of that on, and exactly the same. He leapt up. So it's really it's interesting. Wise. He's super wise. He is actually, you know, he's learnt a lot in his young years. He's lovely. So I'm going to use lovely. See, so I'm building my background before I even start. Light. Well, when I say light, he lightens the room. Hugs. He gives great hugs. So if you were, and kisses, he's a great, very affectionate son. And I think that'll do. Wow, Zen, friend, he is a friend. Grace, his sister. So there are loads more, but I think they'll do now, right? And then all I need is a black archival ink pad. So let's have a look. If I take a black archival ink pad, and I'm going to, and you see, this is the thing, because I've already got my words out now. I've got a bit of white copy paper. I know you think, oh, this is going to take forever. It takes a little while. I'm going to start with happy. Happy, okay? So we keep them all together like that. And I'm going to start with happy. And then if I don't want to pan out too much, because then you won't see what I'm doing. But let me just say, because I'm a lefty, probably ought to put all these over here, to be fair, Barbara. Right, so I've got my background, I've got it all ready to go. I mean, you know, to be fair, if you wanted to, you could do what I did with, you could tee them all up, couldn't you, on your stamp pens and mount them all here, and then you just lift them off. I mean, I think, you know, if you've got stamp pens, this is a great way to go. You just mount all 12 of them or whatever you want, and then you're off and running. But I'm going to pretend that you haven't got 12. You've only got 4. If you've got 12, happy days. Then you can do, see, I've already used my 12 because I used them on the leaves for later on. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to unpack them all. Yesterday wasn't my best day. So I thought that'll do for tomorrow. But these ones, they're great because you can use them. Now, somewhere on the screen, bear with me 1 second, because I know, right, if I press there, you can see we've got Clarity stamp pens, a set of 4. And you can get 4 stamp pens for £23.96 plus your club discount, 31749. But if you go to that area on the website, you can buy the stamp pen holder and a set of 12, all in a beautiful presentation box. So that might be something to consider instead. Right, now let's get started. Happy. So you're just going to use a black archival ink pad. I just want to stamp it to make sure. Perfect. Okay, happy. And now what I'm going to do is start by stamping. I'm just going to stamp happy. See what? The trick is that I've got to cut. Remember, I've got plenty of words, so I don't need to, I really don't need to fill it with happy. I mean, I could, because he is a happy young man. He's very happy. He's living his best life in San Francisco. Got a beautiful wife. But, you know, I've got loads of other things I want to say. So now let's go to family. So now I'm going to pop family in. So I go to family. And if I were thinking on my feet, right, as I'm doing this and I'm testing, I could make a little card, and I could put a little bit of, like, if I'll show you what I'm talking about. If I take a bit of, like, I might as well use what I've got in front of me. And if I'm doing this, then why don't I do this at the same time? So I could just make a border, let's say, like that. And I'll just put together, I'll show you a trick. While we're, look, this is typical Barbara, but that's all right. Let me just pop that over there for a second. If I put, Jane found tweezers useful. Yeah, I use tweezers as well. I've got them. I use tweezers as well. But I found the low-tack tape really helped keep it in place while I was working. So say I want to make a border. Look, I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to take the width of that, and then I'm going to go again. So three widths of low-tack tape like that, right? And then I'll lose the middle one. So now I know the width is exactly the right width. So say I'm going for it here. So I can, instead of just stamping onto there, why don't I make myself a really nice, right, see? So I can go family like that, and I'm making a border. I'm testing. See, if it doesn't work, it's no, I haven't lost anything. But I can also pop this in at the same time. So I'm going to go family like that. That'll do. And then clear that off. So what I can do is I can put them, as I finished with them, I can put them back on their home base, on their sheet, you see, so that I'm reducing the congestion here. But you can see I just pick it up with a stamp pen. Right, fun. See, this would be a good one. I reckon this would be really good if I could use this with a photograph of Mark and Alex, for example, from the wedding. That would be nice too. So you can see what I'm doing now. I'm kind of starting in the center. It's like a lot of things. You need to kind of, if you want to completely fill, do you see what I'm getting at? Right, and then get rid of the excess. Then we'll put fun back. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting fun back in on my storage sheet, and I'll go to kind. And yesterday I was thinking, do I want to go to, here's one I did earlier, or do I just want to do the process? And the thing that I found was the best part of this whole process was spending time just indulging Mark and thinking about him, you know? And so, and I'm trying to kind of impart that to you, not so much about Mark, but the fact that you have special people in your life that you think about every day. And you could use this time. This is so fun to do and so simple. Look, it really, you don't need You don't need an ology in stamping to do this, do you? Especially with the stamp pens, you see. The stamp pens are so good. And I know when I send this to Mark, he's going to be so chuffed when he sees that I think he's wise. He will. He'll think, have I got the same? There, see? So I'm using this at the same time. It's nice. Get rid of the excess. So, so then I'll pop that back on there. I'll go to the next one. So I've picked my words. See, I've taken the composition I've already decided, haven't I? You see? So we go like that. You've got to see the process, though, into completion. Lovely. There you go. Mark, right, is lovely. He is so lovely. I can talk while I'm doing this as well. When Sam and I went to San Francisco, we went on our road trip, didn't we? And Mark really pulled out all the stops. He treated us to a beautiful hotel in San Francisco, and yeah, it was pretty cool, you know. Let me go to party. I'm going to go down here now. Party. Yes. Okay. And yeah, he really he was so, you know, for a busy businessman, he really took time, and that was lovely. And he was just so pleased to have us there as well, you know. And if you miss a bit, like if you think, oh, I should have, you know, like there, I've missed a bit, that's all right. I can do that with ink. I don't have to worry about, you know, it's fine. So I'm just, you got to kind of kiss the edge. And I didn't kiss the edge on that one, but I'll kiss the edge with the next one. So put party back, see? So you don't have to have dozens of pens, but they're really, look, how useful is this? Joy. So we're going to get, joy's a good one, so it's a little one. So now I might just squeeze a little bit of joy in there, see? I'm going to use joy as a bit of a filler, because it's joy that's going to give us the edges. Do you see? Look, a bit of joy in there. There's a lot of joy here, Mark. You give me joy. You do. And your sister. I showed Grace this yesterday, and she said, "Core, isn't that nice?" I said, I would have done Grace, but it was too long. And I would have done Mum, but I didn't have two M's. So we've got joy, see? I mean, I know this is a bit indulgent of me to just be doing this, but I have to finish the process, friends. So you could go and put the kettle on. I'll still be here when you get back. Love. All we need is love. That's a good one. Love at the top as well. I think I'm going to put love there. Love family. Nice. Because I'm using a fast drying ink pad, I've got to kind of get a wriggle on, because if I hover like this too much, then by the time I actually use it, it will dry out. Look, watch. I bet it's not so bad, but you do have to kind of get a bit of a, see, if I think, oh, that one doesn't fit there, don't overthink it with this either. That's the thing. Don't overthink, oh, you know, you drive yourself potty if you do that. You just, because if you miss a bit, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit of a heart. I think with this, though, it's the enjoyable process that I'm in love with, and and not hard. I think that's the thing. You know, there's a lot going on in our lives at the moment, isn't there? In everybody's lives, you know, and sometimes you just want to be able to do something that doesn't require a lot of thought, if you know what I mean. I mean, it does require a little bit of thinking. There you go. Hug. I love a hug, don't you? I'm a huggy person. Are you a huggy person? I'm a very huggy person. That's nice. Right. Did we get any hugs on this one? I like this as well. This is going to be nice. I think I'll See, I wish I'd started in, that's it, stay in the center on that one, grey. Better off not doing an overlap than doing an overlap. And you know what? The other thing is, of course, remember, you've still got all these lovely things. So if you did have a little, like, you could use one of them funky little marks, you know, from the symbols, the moons, or no, the shapes one, the grungy one from, love that. So if you did have a bit of a gap and you felt you wanted to fill it, then rather than cram a word in that doesn't fit, Mark has the most beautiful smile. Okay, he's got green eyes like me. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to put it there. Now you can see smile. Yeah, he's got green eyes like myself. And yeah, you can imagine kind of brown skin, green eyes. Oh yeah, he's a bit of a handsome dude. Yeah, and isn't it nice when he's handsome but he's kind as well? You know, you don't get many marks to the pound. Right, let's see. Funny. Oh yeah. So obviously we live 8,000 miles apart, don't we? And he and I spend a lot of time sending each other ridiculous. I sent him one this morning that will make him, because it's 8 hours difference, right? So I know that he's going to wake up at 4 o'clock, and the first thing he's going to do is see this thing. Now, what was it I sent him this morning? It was so funny. It was a talk show, and it was about what things that you could say in the kitchen, I think it was, and in the bedroom, at the dinner table, and in the bedroom. And I honestly, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was just curling up. Just some of the stuff that you get online is so funny, isn't it? And even like Clive Anderson and different people, that they were just cracking up themselves. They were laughing at their own jokes, which was great as well. So that's just what you need, isn't it? On a Friday morning, I think. Right, laugh. You need a good laugh. Let's have a look. Can we get a bit of a laugh going here? Oh, let's just pop the GH in there. So you can see we really nearly filled this up. Laugh. And if there's a bit missing, well, I'm sure we can cope. Laugh. Good. Right, that's that done. And we managed to, we didn't use kisses, and we didn't use light, but that's okay. I can cope with that. And we've got a little border going at the same time. Nice, nice, nice. So once we've got that, the next thing we want to do, are we all right here, friends? Good. A longer name would make great wall art. It really would, wouldn't it? A poster. In fact, you know, Mark and Alex would make a great poster, wouldn't it? And then the dates of their wedding, for example. Yeah, because they just had their 1-year wedding anniversary. I'm just wiping off the excess ink. Because it's a permanent ink, it does dry permanently. I mean, I could clean these with a bit of rubbing alcohol, but just for now, I'm just going to get this off. Okay, so let's have a look. What we've got now, we've done all the words. We're going to keep everything in place, because now I need to kind of make the background different to the foreground. So this is easy. Let that one dry a little bit. So we don't need the black ink pad at the moment, but what we do need is a bit of colour. And I've picked two ink pads, distress inks, that I can find in the background. So that's how we're going to make these letters pop. So I'm going to use my brushes, and I'm going to use the little mini ink pads. And you can see I can use brushes, or I can use the spot-on sponges. Right, spot-on sponges. Here we go again. I know, I feel like a record player that's got stuck. You can get a pack of 4 spot-on sponges for $31215, or you can buy them individually, $30537. Absolutely marvellous. 4 in a bundle. And while we're on that side of the business, what about the the masking tape. Of course, you can buy 1 31211 or all 4 31212, and I'm sure there's a savings on 4. So make a note of the 31212 low tack masking tape or 31215 spot on sponges. Okie dokie. So I'm going to start with the orange one, and I'm just going to intensify. So I've got a brush. Like I say, it's not hard. And I'm just going to go in those areas where there's a bit of orange. So there's a bit of orange in there. There's a bit of orange in there. So I'm just changing the colour a little bit. So I've just got to keep it going there. That's definitely the orange area, isn't it? And then over here, I think I'm going to, and you kind of use the letters as a bit of a springboard. Will they come off? Well, I sure hope so. Yeah, of course they come off. Right, so we've got our orange area. There's another little bit of orange in there as well. Okay. So if I'm going in over colour that's already there, so I get really nice tonal, right? I'm holding the brush quite tight to the base, so that way the colour's quite intense. If I wanted to get it intenser, more intense, intenser, what is that if it's not English? Right, more intense, then I can go straight in like there, can't I? Right, and I can use the spot on sponge and really intensify the colour. But if I don't want to do that, then I don't have to. And what about this little fella? I wonder. I think it needs to dry a little bit longer. Okay, we'll give that a go. Maybe do that in the afternoon. Don't know why, but I've got a feeling it needs to dry. Okay, so that's the orange brush. We do have brushes in the cupboard too. Absolutely marvellous. Okay, 30006. They're the stencil brushes. Good. Now let's have a look. When this is gonna, you watch how quickly this comes together now. The donkey work's been done. We've built the background. And the other thing is, of course, friends, that what I've done here with the words, of course, I could do exactly the same thing with the moons, or I could do it with the shapes or the little people, or I could do a combination. I could do a whole medley, you know. Right, that's going to be nice. Right, a little bit of blue in there. So I've got to kind of be a bit mindful of where I'm putting the colour, but the background from the designer card is giving me that. Now, Northern Lights is a beautiful. If you haven't got any of these designer papers, I think I'm going to put a bit of turquoise in there. See, the orange and the turquoise as well. When you overlay them, you get really lovely teals and olive greens, and it's a great combination. And the other thing is, as you peel the masks off, if you see, oh, I've missed a bit, or it's a little bit, you can't really see, it's not popping as much as I'd like it to. Let me just sweep over I'm just sweeping over the letters and dragging the ink from the letters into the background. Okay, it's just a bit cleaner on the hands in a minute when I peel these all off. See, because there's quite a lot of ink on there now. That's all right though, it's not bad. Look, I don't need gloves for this job, do I? I couldn't do this with gloves on. Right, but this kind of crisps up the edges as well. So I've done that, I've cleaned off the edge. I've used these lovely Distress Oxide. No, they're not Distress Oxide, they're just Distress Inks. Okay. Now I'm going to take these off. So what order do we take them off? Well, this is what I need to do now, is just be ready. I've got another spot on sponge, but this time I'm going to use just a normal black ink. Like this. It's the same as the little ones, but I couldn't find a little one. So I'm going to take the letters off in the same order that I put them on, because I want the K to be in the background. Okay. So let's take this colour like that. See, I'm happy with that. and I need a bit of masking tape, so I could always have my masking tape ready. There you go. I'm just going to get my masking tape ready. That'll do. Right. So I'm going to use the sticky side of the masking tape, so that really helps. I'm going to lift that off like so, pop that on there. Right. Do the same on the other side. And we're just going to repeat. We're just going to do the same thing now, but in reverse. Okay. Just gently does it. Just take that K off there, like that. And you can see how the combination of the letters and, oh, hang on, wrong way around. Sticky to the, we're going to go sticky because I know that it's, I'm not going to have that where it falls off. Right, and then when I take this away, as I lift this up, I just want to see, yeah, nice. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. See, so as I lift that off, I think that looks great. And now I'm going to take my, before I do anything else, I'm going to rehome this. So yeah, Jane, I agree. You can use, happy to use tweezers. I agree that they help a lot, but I think that this particular way of doing replacing it is ideal. Look, because you put it straight back where you found it and it's there for the next time. And it really does, it doesn't, you don't stretch them, you don't tear them. Right, so that's the first one. But now, in order for that to sit behind this one, I need a little bit of depth around here. So I've got choices. I can go soft or I can go hard. So for example, if I just use a little bit of ink like that, and I sweep in from that edge, look, just flick, 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 like that, take off the excess, and I'm just going to flick in from there like that, just round that edge. I can use pencils. This afternoon, we'll go in sharper and we'll get a real crisp edge, right? But this is a real nice kind of, the drop shadow is much more mellow on this, like that. So we'll leave that in place because I want to go to the A next. So we've done that one. I think it's all about the reveal, isn't it? Let's have a look. So then the next one is going to be working backwards. What was the next one that I did? It was the A. So I'm going to lift the A off next because I want that one to sit behind like that. Let me have a look. So it depends entirely. Sticky to the top. This is the sticky side. But it depends entirely which letters you want to bring to the front. It's entirely up to you. There was a piece of artwork which they were staggered. They went down like that and they went back up like that, and they were all sat on top of one another like a stack of cards. I'll have to find it because it's very good. Right, let me just pop that on there like so. See, so now I can lift. The thing is, I can lift this off, and if I feel, oh, I should have added a bit there, I just put it back down again and go again. But I actually think, yeah, great, definitely looks like an A to me. Right, so we pop that on there. Can you understand why I felt we needed to do the whole thing together? I know it's a bit of a mish. I certainly couldn't have done this on Create and Craft, could I? Imagine. They would have turned the lights off on me. Right, so that'll do. But there you go. And that's why we enjoy Clarity TV, because we can decide how long we want to go. I know I've gone a quarter of an hour, I mean, over the edge. But there you go. And that's okay too. So what I'm doing now is I'm just adding that little bit of shadow there and there. And what that'll do is it'll just make it look like the M and the R are over the top. And if you come in at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'll show you with the leaves how you can make it much sharper than this. I'm working on a much softer, more muted drop shadow. Yeah. So there you go. You don't want to make it too dark though, Grey. That was a bit too much there. It's all right. Right, next one, R. So test yourself now. What's she going to do next? What are we going to do next? Well, first of all, I'm going to find my R in there. then I'm going to use the sticky side up because it just works like a charm. So we'll do this. See, because I'm not only making this piece of art for Mark, but if I make one for Grace, which I'm going to, I need the A, I need the R, and I need to be able to use these letters again. You know, this isn't a one-off, is it? That would be a bit of an expensive game. Right, I'm just using all these little bits of masking tape, reusing them. Right. There we go. So we'll do the R next. And then as I peel it off, I can see I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. See? And now it looks like that R is really popped to the front and it's pushed the A and the K to the back. Interesting, isn't it? Now, if you consider the different coloured papers, the design, just in one pack, just in for example, the Northern Lights pack, there are so many different papers in that set that will give you a completely different look. So, for example, that turquoise one would be beautiful, right? Or a lilac and blue one, mum, you know, or you could go like really bold and Christmassy. If you're looking for Christmassy colours, then Northern Lights is definitely a good one. So I've got my R, you see, and then I just peel. Even though it's sticky, it's fine. Just go gently. There you go. So that's that one. And then last but not least, we've got M. Now I need a bit more masking tape. I'm going to go sticky side up again. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's more for my benefit than yours. Right, so I've done my masks. I've done my drop shadow. I'm just going to grab that like so. I can bring that in like so. So that's going to hold that in place beautifully. Turn that round, do the bottom end. So once you get the process down, once you get this, it's a habit, isn't it? Sticky side to the top, drop that back down again. There you go. Round we go. Lift this off. So the M is the challenge because there's a lot of M, a lot of going on. Nice, nice, nice. Isn't that lovely? So there you go. And then we're going to take our M and then we're just going to, for me, it's as important to keep the letters in a good condition as anything. I don't want to have to keep opening these up. There are no stamps for this. This isn't a mask for a stamp. This is quasi shape. This is the stamp. This is the outline, isn't it? I mean, you could put landscapes in here. There's so many options. See, and once I've got my letters like that, all back in place, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. There you go. So that's them done. That's that done. And then I'm going to peel away. Let's see, when we peel away this edge here, doesn't that look good? Looky, looky. See? So because we went right up to the edge, and even if we missed a little bit, the brushes and the little bit of ink, they took it in anyway. They created the panel for us. So let's see if we go in a bit closer. There. Do you get it? So when I take that away now, you can see just how lovely that is, can't you? I love it. Anyway, I think I so enjoyed the process because it made me feel like Mark was in the room with me. You know, it was so nice. And like I say, I'm sure it's taking the words, it's taking the time and enjoying the person, the recipient. It's just indulging that energy. You know, it's nice. And then this, let's just see, this should be working. This should be good enough by now. But what I want to do is just make sure that I don't go into this area here. So rather than use loads and loads of masking tape, what I could do is just take a bit of copy paper. Let me just take a bit, normally a half piece. Stay there a minute. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to sling my handbag on the floor. I don't know why I'm shouting. I'm taking you with me. Right. So I've got a piece of, let's say, a little bit of copy paper. See, And then if I want to protect that bit, rather than cover it all up, see, I can do that. And then what I've got left exposed, you see, is just that piece there, isn't it? So now let's see what happens if I'll put a bit of blue through there, like that, and then maybe a little bit of turquoise there as well. Let me just get the colours in first. Bit of yellow there, bit of orange in there. See, because what you're doing is, even if the words don't run to the edge, you're creating the panel, aren't you? And you're filling it. And those 5 sets of stamps, hey, you know, I can add more in there with those little, there's so much more potential here, you know. So rather than, there you go, just get rid of the excess, because you can always add it, but you can't take it away, right? And when you run into the teal, into the yellow, let's just see what we get here. It's a bit more, I want it to be a little bit darker maybe. So you could take a stencil and run over the top, and then you can get the shape, the lovely design from the stencil in the background too. See, when you go teal over orange, you get a really nice, see, in this what, that would be covered, wouldn't it, if I hadn't done that? There you go. So we pop that on there and that on there. And then if I want to add a few more bits, I can always go in with my other stamps, those lovely little stamps. But when I peel this away, top tip, always peel away from the corner. You peel in, you might catch the top fibres and tear the card. But look, doesn't that look good? There we are. So it's a nice little panel ready for a really cool centerpiece, maybe a photo. And all the words, look, family, party, fun, joy, it's all there. Nice, eh? And the last thing, of course, is the narrative. So the narrative is the message. What message do we want to emit? We've had the fun now. We've thought about Mark. We've created a whole background. He doesn't even know that that whole background is dedicated to him. But now comes the message. So where do we find that? There is a set of really lovely, hands up all you shackers. Right, now in the shack we put together a load of stickers because we were always using kind of shackisms, weren't we? And we put together a really lovely set of shack stickers. I'm going to show them to you. And they're called the Feel Good Factor. They were really, really popular as well. Do you remember the code for these feel good words, which I think kind of works so beautifully with this concept, is 31048. Okay. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, our Jim put that on the screen as well. Just let me test my skill here. Hey, there you go. Feel good factor. And what you'll find is it's just there, right? So this one, for example, when you look at it, make art, not war. God bless you. I think of you every single day. And that was the one, as soon as I saw that, it resonated with me. And I thought, yes, Mark, I so do. So you'll find, I mean, there are 100 in here that I could, you know, there you go. Look, in all the world, there is no love for you like mine. Oh, don't get me started. There, you see? So without getting caught up here in the 11th hour, I've been doing so well. These are absolutely marvelous for adding a message or a feel-good factor. That's the point, isn't it? So let's just say I'm going to go for, because it's Mark, he's got, everything's really working in his life. We could use, I miss you so much. There you go. I do. Oh no, that'll make him feel guilty. That's beautiful. That's a Mark kind of thing. A heart is happiest when it beats for others. He's one of his biggest, like, Markisms And I taught him well. He always says, never tire of doing the next right thing, Mum. I love it when you get your own words back at you. So what we've got now, this is the last thing I wanted to do. It's interesting. I could use a course. I could use a Sharpie pen and a ruler and go bosh, bosh. Yeah, you know I can. But I could also, let me show you, just in case you're wondering, see this here, this bit here is a sticker as well. So this here, I'm going to show you something. When I take that off, look, because I couldn't decide, let me tell you, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to, I mean, I know you're going to think this is pretty anal, but, you know, that's my middle name. I couldn't decide, did I want to put the line, and you will completely understand what I'm talking about. Did I want to put that black line right on this edge, or did I want to leave a little gap? Do you see? So you probably assumed that I did this with a pen. Thing is, once you do it with a pen, you can't undo it, can you? You can't put that, after all that work, right? M-A-R-K work, right? Then you put a line through it and you think, I wish I'd left a gap. I know, right? So what I did was I literally trimmed a piece off here, right? So that you can take a bit. I'll do it on the, look, I'll show you. I know you think she's lost it. Well, not really. I think this is absolutely logical. To me, this is as logical as it gets. So I'm just going to make a little sliver, right? Like that. And that little sliver, now I can test. Once, remember, I can either use it or I can test. So now I've got like a pen, but it's not, it's like a pen line. See, the biggest challenge is getting this off here. Right, so now I've got a black line and I can decide, do I want to put my black line, how else are you going to find out without doing it and then wishing you hadn't? See, I could put my line on there like so. Look, watch. Now I can wrap that around like that. I know. But now I can decide, do I want to do, I'm going to come in close, because this is the sort of thing that you and I get really hung up on, isn't it? We makers, this is a big deal for us, whether we do that or that. For me, this is a big cheese. And I see, and I'm so glad that I gave myself a little window there. I prefer that to over that. I do. I just prefer it. You see? And so that way I can take that off there, or I can leave it, or I can move it. But the point I'm making is it's a moving feast. I have the choice. And then the last thing I want to show you, because I think this is like finishing something off is as important as making it to begin with. So now I've got this nice piece of artwork for Mark. Now, what am I going to do with that? Can I put that in the post to him? Well, let's go. Now, this is where you start to realize our whole concept. And this is going to be the I love you, Mark. This is going to be my notelet that's going in with it, right? And this is going to be just a nice piece of artwork. So I've picked Northern Lights designer card. Okay. Now, you hear us talk about this all the time. Northern Lights companion paper, Northern Lights designer parchment, Northern Lights designer paper, etc., etc. The thing is that when I go to, this is why they work together. They have got the same name. We made Northern Lights designer papers. I'm still working on the old ones. Now they're single-sided, which is better. But I'm still working with the old stuff, because that's what I have in my stash, and I waste not, want not. But say, for example, I can take this and watch, because these were made to go together, they go together. And you can take this piece of artwork, because I use that designer, that Northern Lights background, and I marry it up with the Northern Lights companion paper, and you'll be going, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. Oh, I like, it's just made to go. Watch this. So if I go, I'll take that out of the way, go like that, go like that, go like that. Right, and double-sided. For me, now they're single-sided, but for the purposes of this is going to be ideal. So that works really nicely, doesn't it? Works really nicely. I love that one. See? Wow. That's the card. So do you see what I'm getting at? As you start to go through these, I love that one. See? So that one would work. That one would work. That one would work. Not so much. So there are going to be a couple that don't work. That works like a charm. That works fantastic. See now, this is where the recipient kicks in. So now I'm thinking to myself, well, for Mark, 33, 34-year-old, definitely, I think more. I just found it. There you go. That's him. That's it. That's the one. Do you see what I mean? Oh, there's another one here. Let me have a go at this one. Bit bright. No, that's Mark. I spend as much time, I bet you do too, checking out the different colours in the back. Don't you? It will take me as long to find a beautiful background colour as it did to write the word Mark out. However, having said that, if you do use the matching companion paper and the designer paper, that's a big advantage. And I just so happen to have the codes for you for that, just because I can. There you go. So the designer card that I used, I love this. Okay, 30553. I did all these years ago with alcohol ink. I just got to remember something else to tell you. Right, 30553. That's the petite edition designer card. 31664 is the matching Northern Lights companion paper. There you go. Write those numbers down. I did these years ago with alcohol ink, the designer stuff. And as if by magic, there is an alcohol ink. On Saturday, the 18th of October, I'm holding an all-day online workshop. Starts at 9 to 12, then a lunch break, then 2 to 4. Saturday, the 18th of October is the live gig. I'm going to teach you how to use alcohol ink on a gel plate. So if you're into mixed media and you want to know how that works, this is just the gig for you. We're going to learn how to make landscapes using alcohol ink. It's £60 for the day. I think that's right. You can sign up online. There's also a product list of what you need. We'll send you this as soon as you join, so that you've got a map of what we're doing on that particular day. Okay, I think you'll really enjoy it. If you want to join in, then sign up soon so that you've got time to get all the little bits that you need, get all your ducks in a row, as they say. But alcohol ink, we've got a fantastic selection of Ranger alcohol inks in the cupboard for your pleasure. And we've also got plenty of gel printing plates for you too. So this is like the first in a series of gel plate mixed media workshops that I'm starting to do online. So once we've finished this one, then we'll move on to paint. You've got to know your mediums. You know, you've got to know what you're working with. And this one is tackling alcohol ink on a jelly plate. Then we'll do acrylic paint on a jelly plate and so on. So this is the first in a whole series that will span at least a year. So that's what, if you're looking for it, it's 60229. And the other thing worth saying about this is, if you can't make the 18th of October, it doesn't matter at all. You're being given the key to that classroom, and you can go in at any time, as many times as you like, for as long as you like. Okay, so even if you can't make it, or you can only make it in the morning on the Saturday, don't worry. We'll carry on. We'll crack on in the afternoon, and then when you get home in the evening, you can watch it. See, so you're not losing out on the tuition. You're not losing out on the tutorial. Anyway, so that's that I did want to mention. Let me just quickly recap what we've done today. If we just take a look, let me just clear this up. let's just take a look on our screens at the brand new, beautiful set of 5 stamps, brand spanking new, combined with the concept with the masks, a whole alphabet, a whole range of letters, beautiful, reusable, repositionable masks. I showed you how to use them today, how to layer them up, give you that optical illusion of multiple layers. It's fun. And that all comes to you in one of those lovely slow down boxes, traveling gently as we do with Clarity. So the overall price on that is $79.94 plus your club discounts, depending on how many clubs you're in. If you're not in the club, you might want to just call Sue, sign up for a club, and then do that before you place your order. Okay. And if you do place this order or any order and it comes to £60 or more at the checkout, then we will also, celebrating our birthday, 32nd birthday, we will be sending you a box of these stamp board shapes. And this afternoon, I'll show you, like I say, I'll show you some examples of how brilliant this is. It's a gift. It's a definite gift. But there you go. That's going to be coming to you anyway if you've invested in this brand new bundle. So let me just check that I've said everything I want to say. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, thank you so much, Jilly, for helping. And thank you for keeping me company. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. I'll be back at 2 o'clock and we'll be looking at the numbers and the leaves. Lots of love. Thank you again. Bye-bye now.